Interview and job search strategies at work. In this episode, I'd like to talk to you about when you go for an interview, what can they talk to you about? What can they ask you? Of course, there's, legally, whatever, quote unquote. They can ask you about, your creed, your religion, race, age, sex orientation, or marriage status. Yeah. So anyway, but okay. So they may ask you like, "Hey, tell me about yourself," right? And sometimes they're trying to like get at like having you having you tell them like something, what's wrong with you, basically, because they want to try to predict your future employment there. What is this person going to be like when they come on board? So the recommendation is to keep it short, keep it like under a minute or 2 minutes, right? Tell them basically where you're born, maybe when you were raised or where you were raised rather, some of your interests, some of the things you've done, like what have you the work you've done or you've enjoyed the most. So probably one of the things they're looking for is you outworked your competition, or you did more than you did more than what you had to do at work. You did more than what was expected of you. Another interview question is, you know, what kind of work you looking for, right? So they want to know if the what kind of job are you looking for, basically. If the job calls for like a leadership role, or let's say a job calls for like a non-leadership role, but you're looking for a leadership role, that's going to tell them, okay, this is, you know, he or she doesn't know what the job is, or they're not looking for what we're hiring for. Because you may have seen the job description, right? And you may have talked to whoever about it, and your interpretation of the job may be different than what it really is. So that kind of clears that up. What would help is if tell them what you think the job is, basically. I think the job is X, Y, Z. I think the duties are this and that and the other. And that's when you tell them, the person interviewing you, that's gonna tell them, oh, okay, that person knows, they're really looking for this. Yeah, okay, so we're on the same page. You may put it back on them and say, I'd like to tell you, I'd like to answer that question, but I need to understand what are the tasks involved in this job. Another question is, have you ever done anything like this before? Any type of work like this before? What they're looking for is they want to, see if you have the skills, right? Do you have the technical skills that they need to fill the position, basically? So, like, if you don't, right? Let's say, for instance, IT, and you're a sysadmin, or yeah, you're a sysadmin, right? Or no, you're help desk, right? And the job is sysadmin, and you might want to say like, or the thing you're getting across to them is, hey, the skills are similar. I have transferable skills from from help desk to sysadmin. And what helps is like also, I'm a quick learner. You know, I haven't mastered a lot of stuff, but I've picked up a lot of stuff quickly. I'm not a master of one thing. I just pick up things as I go, but I'm very quick to pick them up and to learn them. Yeah, another one, right? So, why did you leave your last job? Why do you want to work here? Basically, not why do you want to work here, but why did you leave your last job? That's always one that recruiters always like to ask. Like, yeah, okay. What they're looking for, right? They're looking to see if you get along with other folks. in the well, the company, will you fit into their culture, right? They're trying to fish out like, are you are you an angry person at work? Do you complain a lot? Do you not like the coworkers you're working with or worked with before? This is kind of going to tell them like if you say like, oh, there's just really bad company before, like, whoa, what's going on? Or you're better off just saying like, speaking good manner about your former employer or your current employer, and just say, my my what I need in a job has changed. Say something like, get along with everybody. Everybody's happy. We have a good attitude. There's good culture there, but you're looking for a change. That's all. You're just looking for a change. Maybe something like, seeking, reason I'm looking for a change is kind of want to be more creative in what I'm doing. Use my initiative to just make work better. So if you were fired, right, for instance, from your last job, you could say something like, I got along with everybody else, but the management and I didn't get along with each other, or we didn't see eye to eye, and that's just how it is. So yeah, like if you were laid off, you could say like, my job was, closed out. My job was nullified. My job was terminated. The contract ended. Whatever. Yeah. Another one is like, if you've been out of work a while, if there's like maybe a month or something like that, they're gonna ask you like, I see there's, or maybe there's gaps in your job history, maybe a couple months here, a couple months there, whatnot. They're gonna say, tell me about, why what about the gaps in your work history? They're kind of looking for if you're a type person that, believe it or not, doesn't, that quits their job, that you just bounce around when things get tough, or, that type of mentality. So, for instance, if it was hard to get a job, say like a month or whatever, you didn't have a job, or a couple months between jobs, you didn't have a job, you could maybe say something like, when you were looking for work, you were learning, and you were just trying to meet the challenge. You were trying to use the opportunity to learn to get more skills. You could say something like, maybe you did some extra study work or volunteer work, or you created a code program, or something like that. Here's one that I have actually gotten a lot of, and well, it's not that I hadn't gotten a lot, but it sticks out in my mind the most. So, for instance, if you have let's say you have a full-time job, this applies this way as well, and you're looking for a part-time job, right? So let's say you're system admin or something like that, in a full-time role, right, already, but you want to go to work part-time as a call center job. It's because you want extra income, right, for whatever reason. And, you talk to your employer and they're like, I see that you have this skill set, and, this role, this job would be a step down. Why do you want to do that? What's the reason you want to do that? Like you have too many more skills. You're overqualified basically for this. Why would you want to do this? Maybe they don't say why you want to do this, but that's what they're getting at. They may see that as like you're trying to just, you're going to leave, right? Basically, but you can say, they're like thinking, oh, you're going to leave, because they don't understand. They don't get that. They don't get it that you have a full-time job and you're looking for a part-time job. They see like, oh, this person's going to leave because this job is beneath them basically, or they're overqualified for it. And maybe you could say something like, I'm going to stick with this job. I'm going to be here as long as I'm needed. Yeah, I guess one thing you could say, like, to help you out, I guess, is like, obviously, I'm getting a second job because maybe I'm paying some bills off or whatever, and so I see this job as ability to pay off bills, and that's the whole reason for here. I'm paying enough extra bills so that I don't have to worry about bills in the future. You know, and it's you can appeal to their they're like 20 years on the job type of mentality some of them have, and saying that, yeah, I want to make sure I have enough money for retirement, pad my retirement or whatever it is by taking this part-time job, because most people still see jobs that are like, working their 20 years, get a pension or whatever, that they still see like, oh, that's way better than actually, bouncing around. Well, I'll just tell you, for instance, a lot of people still see, okay, let me work somewhere for 20 years at $50,000 a year, right? They still see that as a better option because there's benefits and retirement and all that. They see that as a better option than working 5 years somewhere at 50,000 and then working somewhere else for another, let's say, 5 years for 100,000. And every time you're bouncing around job to job, right? Or maybe 20 jobs in 20 years, but each year you're getting a pay raise. They don't see that as being reliable because of like, okay, you're same with the company, working 20 years, and that's just not the reality anymore. I mean, companies, it just doesn't work. There's the IBMers of the world aren't, they're still there, but majority of people or majority of companies, they're not going to hire you for 20 years or so. And if they do, it's not going to be at the high salary you're looking for. You may say, okay, it's a union job, and awesome for you if you have a union job, right? However, you're still paying dues, right, for that. So maybe you make, I don't know, $30 an hour or something like that. I don't know what the dues are, but maybe they're $3 or $4 an hour or $1 an hour, whatever it is. So you're paying for the right to work there, right? Basically. And so, yeah. Another one. So tell me about your greatest weakness, right? They always ask weakness, like the weakest thing, right? Maybe turn it around in saying like, a greatest accomplishment, right? They're trying to get you to like basically blurt out like your moral character. You're trying to confess something about like your job, your job work ethic, something like that is what they were looking to hear about, right? Rather, because a lot of recruiters, they're trying to, I wouldn't say disqualify you, but they're trying to sift through and say, okay, this is why you shouldn't work here, right? Basically, and when they don't have anything like that to say, okay, I'm trying to ask you questions to get you to get under pressure so that you'll make my job easier, so that I don't have to hire you, basically, right? Or we can, you don't move to the next step, basically, in the next interview process, or whoever it is that you're talking to next. So you could say something like, I'm like everybody else. I try to work hard, consistently, and improve myself, but sometimes I just don't reach that goal. You're human after all, right? So something you might want to say is like, you use like the sandwich method. I think I've heard that. Maybe you say something positive, then something not so nice, and then something positive. It's the sandwich method, I think. For instance, something like I don't like to be micromanaged. Basically, because, I have a lot of initiative, right? So, and I anticipate problems before they arise. And that could be a weakness, actually. So, meaning I don't like to be micromanaged. Or instead of saying micromanage, you could say, like, my weakness is I don't require a lot of supervision, basically, for the position or the job I'm doing. Yep. Okay. So really appreciate everybody listening to this podcast and have a great day.